Hello everyone, my name is Aissatou Barry and this presentation is about class. In my opinion, society has become more open over the years and this has enabled more people to move from one class to another. The concept of class has developed for many reasons over the years in American history. The American Revolution's gilded age to our present times, not forgetting the aftermath of World War II, the Civil Rights, the Great Recession, which affected everyone at different levels. The process evolved slowly but surely. According to the digital history textbook, the 17th and 18th century were times during which economic, religious, and social development led Europeans to colonize new lands. This enabled class division, where some people were in charge of controlling the produce and others were to produce. For instance, one of the primary sources I choose from last week's reading is a letter to a Father and a Mother by Freeton. In this letter, there is a description of class, wealthy planters within a community in the early 17th century Virginia, and poor Englishmen and women who were recruited to work on the land of the wealthy planters for a certain period of time under extremely difficult conditions. With this being said, I'm gonna explain a little bit about the 17 and 1800 were times where people, of course, were divided into class, but they were more focused on the individual level. There was a concept of community, which is often formed by individuals with certain things in common, such as race, culture, and class. In this case, we're gonna talk about class and focus on that aspect. According to this article from the Digital History, during the last third of the 19th century, the American economy was dramatically transformed. After 30 years of periodic economic crisis marked by high unemployment and large numbers of business failures, business began to consolidate into progressively larger economic unit. So the market was changing, the industry was developed. Therefore, there were more needs of workers and more laws were voted to protect businesses and people. By the beginning of the 20th century, the major sector of the nation's economy, banking, manufacturing, meatpacking, or oil refining, railroad, and steel, were dominated by a small number of giant corporations. The rise of big businesses was accompanied by the emergence of a new class of millionaires. At the beginning of the Civil War, there were only 400 millionaires in the United States. By 1892, the number has risen to 4,047 people. The emergence of the modern corporation was accompanied by many positive developments through mechanization, standardization, and economies of scale. Economic productivity soared. Between 1890 and 1929, the average urban worker put in on less day of work a week and brought home 3 times as much in pay. So both poor people and rich people from different classes evolved because of the change in the economy. If I consider and take one primary source from this week's reading is about the Occupy movement, which is driven by individuals like you coming together to create real change from the bottom up. So among all the aspects that motivated this change within class, people coming together and identifying their needs as a community or as a common goal helped them better achieve their purposes. Like this Occupy Sandy recovery needs your help learn how. It's because there was a community of people that were addressing the issue. Strike debt, rolling Jubilee, bailout of the people by the people. Take the Occupy pledge to fight back today. Well, to finish with this presentation, I'm going to talk about, according to the American Revolution chapter, much more than a revolt against British taxes and trade regulations, the American Revolution was the first modern revolution. It marked the first time in history that a people fought for their independence in the name of universal principles. This shows how people identified the problem they were facing as a whole and fought for a country that is ruled by the law, where people have constitutional right and popular sovereignty. I think that with all the changes contributed in the change and evolvement of class over the years. Thank you so much for listening, and